Good evening, Chinook and Steelhead members. Bob Reese with the Guides Forecast, giving you a forecast for tomorrow, Saturday, October 2nd. We are in day 2 of Chinook retention as well as Jack retention down here in the estuary. Chinooks are certainly a rare catch, but Jacks are not. So come on down. Weather's supposed to be nice, winds tolerable, temperature perfect, fishing good, wind. Where to start? Tomorrow morning you're going to be greeted with the first part of incoming tide. So depending on, I'm starting at 7 in the morning tomorrow, but fully expect to be at least an hour and a half into the incoming tide. So I'm probably going to break down to buoy 14, possibly buoy 12. Not sure I'll go all the way to buoy 10. Just depends on how long the tide's been streaming in for, but you might still catch the first rip at buoy 10 if you get down there early enough. And these tides are intensifying, so that should theoretically vacuum in more fish from the adjacent ocean areas outside of the jaws of the Columbia. There has been a big swell, so that makes that lower reach westward of buoy 14 a bit sloppy. Be prepared for that. I'm running around in a new Columbia boat. A new oh my, what's the name of that sled? It's I'm running around in the new Pacific Alumaweld, so I'm feeling pretty good about fishing in some bigger water. But we're gonna miss that key component of the tide that's been so productive the last couple days. Don't know if anybody fished down there today because we had the west wind and the outgoing tide. It was a bit sloppy down low, but you won't catch that tomorrow morning either. You'll just be mostly full frontal on incoming tide. So one place you definitely want to pay attention to is the upstream tongue troll on Lower Desdemona Sands from about buoy 21 upstream, maybe even buoy 14. There was quite a few fish caught on that upstream tongue troll today. And you're trolling 4, sometimes 5 miles an hour, but those coho, which are facing into the current on that incoming tide, they will chase those baits down going that fast. The coho will. So I'm going to make that a big part of my strategy tomorrow. I think it's going to be consistently good like it was today. Ham and hover might improve. It was mediocre at best today, but as tides intensify, so should the action. But I don't know why, other than the fact it's fishing, why that upstream tongue troll would be any worse than it was today. Should theoretically be better. So high tide bite above the bridge on the humps was next to non-existent, but there were a few fish on the first part of outgoing tide right at the bridge on the upstream side of it. And then there were fish being caught anywhere from 22 to 35 foot line downstream of the bridge on the Washington side. Not a lot of effort on the Oregon side. Doesn't mean there's not fish coming through here, but we're in the B run, and those are largely Washington destined fish to the Cowlitz and the Lewis. So whether they follow that side of the river all the way up, I don't know, but that's where most of the effort is going to be taking place probably for the next couple weeks. So if you're going to fish late, we're starting early, but if you're going to fish late, do consider catching the last at least 40 minutes of outgoing tide and the first part of incoming tide westward of buoy 14. That should continue to be productive for the rest of the season, and these are fresh fish coming in. The scales are coming off of them, and these are new fish. So we're going to be getting hopefully a slug of ocean fish yet to come, but there are not 1.6 million coho coming back. The run size has already been downgraded, but still plenty of fish to catch, and still running the spinner baits with chunk herring, or chunk anchovies rather. I think I mentioned that those fresh anchovies are going to get harder to come by as the season progresses. So I stocked up with 10 pounds today. That'll hopefully last me till maybe mid-month. I'm chunking those anchovies into about 4 baits per standard anchovy, so not a big chunk of bait to impede the action of your pro trolls, but enough to throw a scent off when you're fishing back there. So check those chunk baits. They fall off sometimes, even when you put them out at first. They can be hard to get to stick on the hook, so they seem to make a difference. And the pinks, the watermelon pink, the half brass, half red blue dot has been very consistent for another guide, a friend of mine, and myself as well. And the Santa hat, which is brass, white, red tip, has been very consistent as well. Pink coochies, large or small, behind the spinners. And then of course the chunk baits, I'm running the size 5 Siwash hooks behind them, on crimped onto a 6-bead chain swivel to get that back a little bit further. Again, my strike to hook ratio today was horrific, very disappointing. I haven't cracked the code on that yet, but some guides are doing fine. I know one guide boat got a dozen today. We only landed those 2, one jack and one adult, and a couple of, at least I think 3 adults, 3 wild coho, one that was, I'm sure, 15 pounds if it was an ounce. So nice weather, nice weekend, fish around. Probably one of the better prospects on the north coast here. So get out to Astoria, enjoy the fall weather. Crabbing is good too, still a bunch of soft shells in the estuary, and I think come the 6th of October there's going to be a nice minus tide both in the morning and in the evening. So if you're a clam digger, get your gear together. Clam densities are thick here on Clatsop beaches, so it's time to recreate. Good luck out there. Thanks for being subscribers.